All right, click the links to join the channel here over at Subscribe. Got a mailbox. Want to mail me some comics? Thanks for the LG's Batman. Comparing 86 Batman to this. Holy cow. All right, I'm going to have to compare some modern Batman to that because jeepers. So here's the short version of what makes this really hard to take to the point of like it will get your dander up. Is because things are not great right now, and they're lampooning the old guy Trump. It's like, well, that was a couple years ago. He was the old guy. He's not in power right now. If comics is the voice of the unheard, and speaking truth to power, and all that BS that they don't believe, you go. So wouldn't you want to go after the guy in power now? And so what makes it difficult is things are not great, but they have their guy in power. And things are very much not great. Hey, maybe we should print some more money. Oh, that has no effect on nothing. So he lowers the gas prices, and that's to his credit. But when they go up, he has no effect on that. He only has an effect if he does something good. That's insane levels of delusion and copium. Anyway, that's what makes this a little frustrating to read modern comics. I mean, who the F is reading modern comics? I mean, to think they're still putting it out there. Yeah, because they want to maintain the intellectual property rights or something. They can't just put it in stasis for some reason where they really should be able to, because I think it's a crime against humanity to make comics this stupid. So Wonder Woman makes a new stupid comic about Trump by Tom King, and we'll look at his picture in a sec. Cultural Bolshevism comes to comics. Yeah, it's been here for a while, pretty much mask off for the past 10 years. Are new comics stupid? Yes, they are beyond parody. you got to look through some. I honestly think I should do like a 4-hour super video of tracking comics over the past maybe 10 years of just highlights and examples of how unbelievably stupid they are. It's like, look, here's 200 examples of blue and green-eyed people, or fair-skinned people being the bad guys. Like, that's not representative. I just showed you 200 examples. Yeah, I can make the video 8 hours long. I could just go through comic after comic after comic. Like, by now, at least you can admit listen, don't lie to yourself. No matter what else, just like don't lie to yourself. Yeah, comics are like beyond the imagination of bad. The difference in the old and new comic environment is obviously digital. It's the customer's ability to talk about them in an environment that the companies don't control. That's huge. We got social media. You can talk about all this stuff you want, which is one of the reasons why Mr. Myers reviewing comics in his car, which you'd think would be pretty innocuous. He had a small channel at the time before the left-wingers found him. I think it was less than 50,000. And, if the left wing, they made him. Like, they made Comicsgate, because they couldn't just leave it alone. He's sitting in his car talking about comics. The channel was probably never going to be huge unless they brought oxygen to the fire. And so they made Comicsgate. Like, I don't know what the total sales for the whole, everyone involved, loosely involved or inspired by Comicsgate is. It's over $5 million. Maybe, because, yes, it might even be like $10 million if you include everyone connected to Comicsgate. Yeah, it's probably $10 million. And that all happened because, well, Mark Waid had a lot to do with it, but it was all the people around Mark Waid too, just because Myers was sitting in a car talking about how stupid comics were. It's like, you'd think you'd be free to do that, but no, because that's their worldview. You can't criticize comics because that's criticizing the deeper narrative underneath the comics. And that made them insane, or insaner might actually be accurate, to the point where they were threatening violence against him over comic books. And to them, that's perfectly reasonable to make some, or against EVS. I remember like literal threats of deletion against both those guys on Twitter, and they just it's called stochastic terrorism, and they just threw these things out so casually, not realizing, like, there's crazy people who are picking up on these things, hearing you call these guys this existential threat. They're Myers and what's his name, EVS, or some kind of Hugo Boss, and and that's step one of the logic tree. But the precursor step is anyone who fits that description must be removed from this mortal coil. It's like, oh, but you just said that these two guys fit that description. So some crazy dude with a 308 is going to, conceivably could go looking for them. Is that what you're trying to accomplish? Yeah, that's what they're trying to accomplish, because they're the worst people on earth. They don't listen. They don't have the courage to, I'm going to go up to him at a con. No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, you're going to go up to him at a con and look him in the eyes and say, you're you're the guy sitting in his comic talking about comic books, and you're something about trans, and like they have all these hot words and phrases in their mind, and it's like it just never comes out, because when you say it out all aloud, it's like, oh, you meet these guys, and EVS might not be a reasonable person. He's kind of a hothead, but the other guy, Myers, seems like more reasonably like, yeah, well, these the BLT people, it was kind of a back and forth, and here's some of the things they said about me and my family. And then when you hear that, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I guess I didn't have the full story, Mr. Myers. I guess I was, you find yourself start backpedaling. You're like, oh, they're real human beings, and it was a back and forth. It's like just because somebody's trans, it doesn't mean that they can attack you and not get some stuff back. It's like that's the human experience. And in their minds, like, they're not comfortable talking with people who are calm and reasonable, but are going to stand up for themselves and are going to calmly explain their experience. Because you couldn't hate somebody like that. It's like, oh, I guess I was wrong. Can you sign my comic, Mr. Meyer? Anyway, comics is mainstream comics. And hey, some of Comics Gate too, are full of mentally ill people, and I don't use that as an insult, but actually deranged people. I know this because, well, one of their actions, but also because they will proudly tell you how depressed they are on their social media. By all means, please, for the love of God, get some exercise, eat right, and if you need meds, then go that route, because like this stuff they're putting out there is absolutely, yeah, we can tell you're depressed because we read your stuff. Modern comics are pretty much a cry for help. So Wonder Woman has the stand-in for Trump, called the Sovereign, who is able to manipulate the masses with his lasso of truth, which is, I guess, there in the first place because the original creator was into BDSM, and Wonder Woman was one of his fantasies come to life. Actually, someone did send me the history of that. I've got a couple of books people sent me that people keep reminding me of to take a look at them, which I will have to do. Those are kind of going to be some longer videos, so I'll see how that works. So Trump with a lasso, who symbolizes deception and tyranny, because the 4 years of Trump were so horrible. Actually, they weren't, and actually right now is not looking too good. I mean, have you checked your bills lately? Except Trump was just some guy. He wasn't the monster these nut jobs make him out to be. No, he's no angel, and I wouldn't even say he's a good guy. It's like don't kid yourself about anyone who's in the public sphere. They're complicated, but sometimes like the best person for a position is the best of the worst, or is somewhat of an a-hole, so they can negotiate with other world leaders who are just the same a-holes. Like when he met with Kim Un, it's like Kim Un didn't know who he was dealing with. It's like he found someone crazier than himself who actually went into North Korea. How do you vote that guy out? It's like, oh, things were pretty good under Trump. How dare you say that? I mean, objectively speaking, things were pretty okay. Yeah, things are much better now. No, they're really not. So anyway, Obama, perhaps you remember that guy who was drone striking children in foreign countries? Yeah, they gave him a Nobel Peace Prize. And there's an interview with the guy one of the guys on the committee, and he said, yeah, well, the reason we gave him that before he actually did anything was in the anticipation he'd do something kind of cool to deserve it. But he never did. So it's like, oh, it's just kind of meaningless. Yeah, pretty much. So everything the media says is a lie, but liberals believe it. And they don't understand that they're being manipulated by fear. Hey, is Trump a good guy? Absolutely not. Total scumbag. But he was able to run things better than the competition. So what choice do we have? Hillary Clinton, I think, is actually a demon-human hybrid. Everyone in politics is a scumbag. See how easy it is to say that? Neither the left or the right are represented by the people. If they did, they would probably stop giving money to foreign countries or fighting foreign wars. They'd probably use that money to give everyone taxpayer-funded health care if they wanted to. It's like, isn't that one of the things on the left? Like college, taxpayer-funded college and health care. It's like, yeah, you're going to have to stop funding foreign wars and like close the borders because you can't do everything at once. There's just not enough money. Can we stop giving money to Ukraine? No. We need to keep giving them $200 billion. Okay, I mean, you could have used that money like domestically. No, well, there's reasons. Yeah, like I never hear the reasons. I just see the taxpayer money going overseas. So the comic alludes to Trump and right-wing extremism. Like, where's the right-wing extremism? Because we had like 5 years of left-wing extremism. BLM and Antifa, perhaps you remember the billions of dollars they damaged. And then idiot liberals donated like how many billions of dollars they donated to Yeah, it wasn't millions to BLM. It was actually billions. I mean, a lot of that money, like Bank of America and the George S. guy, who you're not supposed to name, who Newt Gingrich named on Fox, and the girls just wet their panties over that. I think he donated like, I don't know, $250 million himself, and Bank of America donated an insane amount of money. I mean, that kind of money, when they donate that, that's just going back into their companies. It's like very loosely passing through other people's hands. Like, oh, we need someone to control the distribution of the money. We need to have like a committee. I was like, let me guess, they're going to get paid $800,000 a year. Well, yes, it's a large amount of money. They need to administer the money. So like the administration fees is just going to keep eating away at the money until nothing is done with it, and like 5 years later, the money will be gone, but the administration, like, so you just kind of funneled the money to yourself, like through some kind of charitable donation. Well, yes, that's the way it worked, and nobody's going to investigate, because if the SEC doesn't go after, Barbara Boxer or Feinstein or Nancy Pelosi for the hundreds of millions of dollars they got through breaching their fiduciary duty of due care by insider trading, they're not going to go after anything. It's like, are you saying the country is over? Yes, I am saying that very clearly. Yes, the country is over. Cannot continue to run at this level of tyranny and deception. And no, Trump was not one of the worst characters out there, not by a long shot. It's a weird position to be in, to have to defend Trump. Anyway, so xenophobia and immigrants and refugees and whatever is a hot topic now, it's like, Biden is in office. Biden and Kamala, I mean, he's physically there, right? But it's his cabinet. It's like, gosh, Saturday Night Live going to do something about the Biden and Kamala? And no, we're just going to go back to, I don't know who the right-wing leaders are, right? MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, or Lauren Boebert, blown out of her mind, giving somebody a hand in a theory. Yeah, we're going to focus on that, the shiny object, to distract you, the bread circuses, the shiny objects, anything to keep you focusing on. So more money to foreign countries, and we got homeless tent cities. You can tell I'm slowly losing my mind here. I wonder why more people aren't. Oh, we've got like sports ball to watch, and no, the new Marvel movie's coming out. You don't get it. It's distractions. Yeah, I mean, the best thing that happened would be the writer's strike. That was fantastic. And you saw how people have this weird, addictive parasocial relationship. What are you depressed over, dude? Looks like you got family in the background, some beautiful kids, and you got your comic book collection. Hey, I want to thank everyone who's been using that mailbox. I'm building up a friggin-tastic collection of stuff, LG, vegan, and some anonymous stuff too. At least use a pseudonym, so I can say, oh, it's, whatever. And it's like a pseudonym that I can repeat on the air, not something that you use in Telegram. Looking at you. I can't even name the guy because it's so bizarre. I don't know where I was going with this. These people hate you, and the only reason I think they're able to write these comics is because they're subsidized by the parent companies, who just need to keep the intellectual property alive. So let me show you this guy. So Tom King created a Joker-level villain. He's elderly, European, straight, misogynist, and he's the king of America. So he's God, King, Emperor, Trump. Yeah, we get the eagle symbology, and this is just so stupid. Wouldn't that remind you more of Biden than anything else? God, we literally have a guy in office who's got dementia. It's like, yeah, but he's not really in office. His cabinet is. God, comics hurt. They're so stupid, they hurt. I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, everything else I wrote is just so politically incorrect. So I guess maybe I should just do like separate videos for Rumble and Odyssey where I can say what I actually mean. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all next episode.